Alright, how's it going? Last week I did a little post on my Facebook page about asking for vlog suggestions, so I got 3 requests I'm going to go over. First one is, how does bodybuilding enhance your life? No, I'm saying, that's word for word. Basically in so many different ways. It teaches you, the motto of my team, desire, dedication, and discipline, just the 3Ds, that, like, all of that translates into daily life and everything you do. And basically, like, I don't know, people think of competing as being, sometimes people think you're stuck up, or they think it's only about working out and doing the nutrition and eating bland food and whatever else, uh, and being obsessed with your weight and how you look or whatever else. But it's so much deeper than that when you really get into it. And really, it teaches you to be patient, and it teaches you to just work hard to go to places in your mind that you maybe would never have experienced. And just because you have to deal with stuff when you're in contest prep, and you have to really push yourself and be determined throughout the whole time to get through it. So really, it's just a great part of it. As long as you balance it, you can definitely get over the top and be unhealthy with it. But I think if everything is balanced, if you still go out with your friends, you still have family time, you still go out and do hobbies and things like that, you have school or work or whatever else, and you do it all with that together, I think it just makes the whole thing better. And I think that's good on that one. How do you deal with hunger during the peak of your prep when your calories are at their lowest? So basically, that's when slowly your calories, of course, are going to go down through the contest season, as you're dieting down. So some people, typically, flexible dieters are going to be eating cereals and Pop-Tarts and whatever else in the beginning of prep. I was eating them daily in the beginning of my last prep. But then when you're part of it, when your calories are getting lower, you're going to start looking for more calorie. You basically avoid calorie dense foods, and you're trying to look for volume foods with minimal calories. So you just kind of flip flop that, and so you're basically looking for the best bang for your calorie. And so, vegetables are probably going to increase. You're probably going to want to eat them more just because they'll keep you full. To answer the question directly, I don't have hunger when I'm dieting, because I don't allow it. I make sure that I'm getting, I usually split my macros fairly evenly throughout the day, except for my pre-bed meal, which is not as big. It's usually just some fat, good amount of protein, and a little bit of carb, but the rest of the meals are pretty, carb, fat, protein heavy, pretty evenly dispersed. So, and throughout the day, so I'm not going 8 hours typically without eating, just because I don't want to have that hungry feeling, because especially when you're already, it's already messing with your mind because you're not eating that much, so you don't want to have hunger and actually be experiencing it, and then have it go to your mind and be like, oh man, I'm really hungry now, and then you start going crazy. The chance for binging is going to go up if you really allow that much. So for me, I just make sure that whatever meal I'm having is really going to fill me up, hold me over, through whatever I need to get through until I can eat again. That and drinking a lot of water, like you should be doing anyways, will help. And then, so basically, that's how I would deal with it, is basically by not experiencing it or not allowing it. Because if you have it, like I said, it's just going to make things worse. So I would really try to avoid that feeling altogether, if you can. So just be smart with your food choices, like the last vlog I did. Make sure you are eating stuff that is going to fill you up, another good trick. I kind of eliminated whey protein mostly at the end of my prep, and I was eating all whole foods. So all like meat, eggs, and dairy, you know, stuff that was just gonna actually put something in my stomach rather than a little bit of water and powder, which just didn't do it for me. And another thing I like to do, my meals typically were, especially dinners, were like 3 courses in a sense. There might be like a salad and then like a main dish and then like a dessert type thing, or just like 3 different things, like a mini pizza and some meat and like a little bit of potato and like some other type of vegetable thing. So it was almost like I was eating more. Like, so mentally, it seemed like I would be eating more food because I'm not sitting down with one plate and visually seeing like only this one little plate. So usually it'd be like a plate of this, and I'd eat that, and then go, oh, I get to eat this, and I go over there and make up the rest of it, and then sit down again and get to eat again. And I mean, dinner, it'd be like an hour and a half ordeal just because I liked it that way, and that was kind of like my wind down after the work day and the gym workout. That was like my wind down and mental like relaxation time. So that's another thing, that kind of making it different varieties of things in your meals rather than just like a pile of rice cakes and a bowl of cottage cheese. So yeah, that was just something for me. But anyways, peak week in detail. Well, I can't go too in detail because it's kind of like the secrets of 3DMJ, but I will say some about it. Not too specific, but basically a lot of us do the front loading with the carbs. Don't typically do the total carb depletion for the whole week and get flat and then fill up and try to hit the peak perfect at the end of the week. And why we don't like that is just with so many different people and being different, we're not trying to have somebody spill over. So typically a lot of the athletes will just front load because it's safer. So you basically like, and it's different from person to person. For me, I was front loading like Monday and Tuesday were my high days, and then we started figuring out that I was looking better about 2 days afterwards. So we started doing my high days on Wednesday and Tuesday. So we just moved them up a day. But so I was having like 450-ish carbs or 400 or something like that. I think we went more moderate later on. And then the next day would be like 350, just tapered down a little bit, and the next day would be like 250, 300. So like Friday before the show, you're like 300 or something like that. Again, these numbers are vary from person to person, but I mean, we would just have like 2 big days and then kind of taper it down. And then as I'm looking, because I would be sending pictures to my coach every day. So first thing in the morning, everything consistent. That's the other thing. Very, very, very consistent. You don't want to be messing with your sodium levels, your water levels. You don't even want to be changing your food sources much during peak week, just because basically you want to eliminate all variables that you have control over. So that makes it that much easier to find which detail in your nutrition or training or whatever is affecting you at that moment, because everything else is staying constant. So basically, we just keep sodium consistent, slowly taper it down a little bit towards the end of the week, and then we would have to sort of like reduce your sodium levels in the body, and then Saturday we'd have like a big kick of sodium. So I was having somewhere around 4,500 milligrams a day of sodium, which seems like a lot, which it is, but that's normal for me. Body will get used to it and wash it out anyways. So we were doing that, keeping it consistent, and I was going down a little bit, and then on Saturday I would end up having like 6,000 or 7,000 milligrams, because I was taking like a couple grams before I go on stage, so that's 2 times that day. But that's just to help get you a pump, and help maintain fullness and increase your blood flow overall. So basically that's it. Didn't manipulate. I forget exactly what we did with fat. I think it was just the fat kind of increased as carbs decreased, so they kind of just went like this, through the week if you looked at the graph. So the carb would start up here, fat would be down here, and then they would slowly through the week kind of do this. Not literally gram for gram cross, but they would increase and the carbs would decrease. So towards the end of the week, my fat was, I think, around double or triple. I think, yeah, about double of what it was in the beginning of the week. So you kind of just taper it down, and it's a safe way to do it. So that way you're just not going to worry about spilling. Like if you spill over on Tuesday from your Monday high day, it's not that big of a deal. Up your water intake, drop your carbs a little bit, and you're going to be totally fine by the weekend show. Now, if you spill Friday night, it'll be a bit tougher to wash that out. Or even better, if you spill like in between the morning and night show, if you're trying to still fill out that day, it's too last second, like, crap, I need to cram carbs. Or I know Eric Helms once, he spilled over at a show like on the day of, I believe, and he drank like 2 gallons of water like immediately, because he just to try to flush it out as much as possible, get the body to just flush it out, all the excess water out. But I mean, that just really sucks to have to do that on show day, and then you have not only that, but the stress mentally that adds. On show day, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, you're supposed to have fun, and you're supposed to be calm, collected, and just be not worrying about things like that. So to try to eliminate that would be a lot better. But that's basically it. Also with the training on the peak week, it'd be like no failure. Last thing you want to be is sore, like on stage. Also sore muscles, especially in the legs, it seems tend to hold more water as they're healing, so that's not going to make you look very good. But yeah, the volume goes down. Typically it's better to bring your volume down a little bit, and just not be tearing yourself apart. Just kind of, it's almost like a deload basically, and just take it easy, and just enough to kind of keep the muscle, but not just rip yourself up. So but that's pretty much it for this one, I think. If you've got specific questions, go ahead and ask them. You can go like my page if you want. I've been posting these there. Actually, you should go and check out the meme that I made recently, and apparently it was a huge hit. Reached like 10,000 people so far and got like 30 shares. I don't know. I thought it would be funny, but apparently people thought it was, I don't know. Apparently it was a bigger hit than I was expecting. But go check that out on there, and you can. The page is facebook.com/naturalfirminator. I'll put all this crap in the bottom of the information of this video. But little off-season bicep action right there. Little flexing like a bro. So, alright, take it easy.